Hi everyone. So today's video is going to be about St. Petersburg White Nights palette, and for those of you who speak Russian, you will know this palette as Nevskaya Palitra. So I have made a video talking more about the palette as it was in the beginning, and I think that was my second video that I made for YouTube. So I would recommend to go back to that video and have a look, and then it will be helpful for you to get more information than watch this video. But basically I have done some changes to my palette. I have been working on changing certain colors and kind of creating and extending that collection of the pigments that I had. So the original color of swatches that I have right here are these. So in terms of original, there was already a change here, which you will understand what I mean in the first video. But basically, just to recap, this bottom and the top plane were the watercolors that came in my 24 palette, full pan. These are 2.5mm pans, and these I then already started adding in the middle. So I have done changes to it and brought it to look like this. So this is how it looks now. So not only have I changed the order of colors because it's easier to get to the colors and quicker and just makes more sense, but basically, as you can see, side by side, I have added quite a few more colors as well, and I actually have also taken out a few colors. So here is what I've done. So from the original 24, I have gone up to 39 colors. So I managed to squeeze 15 more pans, additional pans, but in total I have 17 new colors, which means 2 colors I have actually taken out and replaced. So wherever there is a star sign, it means it's a new color that I have added. My palette is from 2007. I have now done the in-depth research to find that out. So it's this old school palette that they don't do them like this anymore. So that's what they used to look like. It's a removable tray, which is super convenient. But this is what my palette looks like now. As you can see, it's super dense, it's full of colors. It just, to me, it looks delicious. It's like a box of candy. So yeah, to be noted is that the previous pans, let's see if I can take one out. Yeah, actually perfect. So these are the pans how they used to look originally. They would come in this sort of plastic see-through pan, and this is what they look like now. They're white, and they're also slightly different in shape. If you see them next to each other, you can see that the original was slightly longer but thinner and taller, and the new ones are slightly wider, shorter and lower. So having said that, it then also makes a big difference in how many you can actually squeeze in. As you can see, depending on how many of those are where, this row looks perfect, this row is perfect, this one is a little bit all over the place, but I don't mind. I just stuck them on with double sided tape. So anyways, I don't want to waste time talking about or repeating things that I have repeated or said in my first video. So let's go ahead and share the new things. So the new colors I have added is Hansa Yellow, which kind of is perfect between Cadmium Lemon and Cadmium Yellow Medium. I have also added Cadmium Red Light, as that sort of more kind of warm and orangey kind of red. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Claret I have added, which is sort of like a wine Bordeaux color. Rose, Quinacridone Rose. Quinacridone. When I watched the video back, I realized I'm not pronouncing my quinacridones. So quinacridone rose, quinacridone lilac, violet rose, indigo, indanthrene blue, Prussian blue, bright blue, azure blue, turquoise blue, green light, olive green, Naples yellow. This is a tough one, even for me, although I'm speaking Russian. So here we go. Shakhnazarskaya red. Okay, so those are the colors that I have added. All 17 of them. Now I have mentioned that I have removed certain colors. This is the color I have removed, ultramarine. Scratch that. Cobalt blue, that's the one. Actually, this paper is not great. This is the cellulose, 100% cellulose paper, which means that the color is sort of being repelled from the paper, so it's not going into the paper, so it looks different. So for swatches I don't like it. Anyway, so cobalt blue is the color that I have taken out. The reason being, I just generally don't like cobalt blue. There's nothing particularly wrong with this cobalt blue, and a lot of you would like it. I don't like it for its transparency and granulation. It's very watery for me. The other color I have taken out is yellow ochre. Now I was thinking between yellow ochre and Naples yellow. Which one should I take out? Again, their yellow ochre is very transparent, which I have some beautiful yellow ochre in other watercolors. So I thought, let me actually just this one. Yeah, so I thought, let me just try and swatch it, or mix it actually, with indigo. So I mixed Naples yellow with indigo, and I also mixed yellow ochre with indigo, and you can see that this has more of a greenish tone to this. The reason being is that yellow ochre is so transparent that it lets the green pigment in the indigo, or the blue-green pigment in the indigo, makes it go or shine through. It sort of comes out more than here. And Naples yellow is obviously more opaque. If we look into the pigment components, so Naples yellow is PY42, PY35, PO20, PW4. So it's a whole bunch of pigments in there, which is not going to be favored by a lot of artists, because the less pigments are there, the better. But I kind of decided to stick with this color in this case. I didn't throw them out, so I do have them still. I just kind of wrapped them up in a little foil and put them in a box, so that if I do want to use them at some point, I can go back to them. And yellow ochre is, it's got two pigments, PY43 and PY1. So that's that. The other thing to say is I have actually made a little note here. So there's a total of 64 colors in the St. Petersburg White Night pigment or pan collection. So I've got quite a few. I've got more than 39, because obviously I have taken 2 out, and then I've got another couple too, and I think I have about 43 or in total. So let's have a look. So the other thing to mention as well is that most of them, if we just look at the pigments right now, if we just concentrate on the pigments, most of them are single pigment colors, which is brilliant. And those that are multiples would be yellow green, which has PJ7 PY3. Amber has got a bunch of things, so PVK7 PY43 PB27, and then sepia PBK7 again, PR102 PR100, what is this, 87. And then Naples yellow we already mentioned. Azure blue and turquoise blue have exactly the same pigments, so PB15:3 and PG7. Then for green original we have PY35, PJ7. Olive green has a bunch as well, PG17, PY1. PBK7, indigo as well, a bunch, PBK7, PB15, PY3. What else do we have that's got multiples? That's it. The last one would be, I guess, a rosy yellow ochre, which I already mentioned. So the rest seem to be singles as well. So that's good. Obviously, the less pigments there are, if they're single pigments, then the greater, the better they are for mixing. They don't create that sort of muddy kind of mix. It's more clear, it's more transparent, if that makes sense. Now, the other thing to mention here is that so before I have in my first video I have said that I was confused about the green and the Russian green. So what happened was, originally I had this green in my original palette that I bought, and then I saw on Jackson's Art a color called Russian green, and I thought, that looks beautiful, let me try it. When it came, it seemed to me that the color was sort of really similar, if not identical, but the formulation of it was very different. And I was even showing the on a bigger piece of paper. I did some swatches, so again, go watch that video. So I have realized that in fact it is the same thing. What I do find confusing, and I had this with a few colors, is that this is called differently. For some reason it's called Russian green, whereas on the pans these are called green. So I don't know whether it's because it's an older palette. Now the other thing, so there are a few colors. If you actually look at this swatch card here, you will see that a lot of them are doubled up. So first thing that jumps to mind is rose and quinacridone rose, blue and bright blue. These are sort of similar, azure blue and turquoise blue, but they're different. There's difference there that is enough for me to say they're different actually. So there was the other color which I have taken out, but it's so emerald green and green original I have taken out. Again, if you have them one next to another, like let's have a look here, you can see they're basically, they look like they're the same, but they're actually not. So this is, emerald green is PJ7 and green original is PY35 with PJ7. So it's a mix of things. So it's got a yellow pigment in here. Now that I found a little bit annoying, because really colors that are doubled up, there is no necessity in them. What else? I think that's about it. So then where did I do? So here, a good example right here. So what I'm thinking is that when you go to the Nievska Perlita website and you check the pigments, there is no Russian green at all. There is a green pigment that is there, and it is PJ8. So I consider this as one, and I'm just thinking that it might be that the green that came in the original palette just has a different formulation because it was back from 2007, good 10 years. Now this here, azure blue and turquoise blue, just for fun I swatched them next to each other. You can see that they are different because obviously this has actually a well, they are exactly the same pigment mixtures, but they're different. This one is more warm toned and this one is more, so I suppose one of them has, well, this probably has, I don't want to embarrass myself, but I guess when it's a cool toned blue there is a red pigment, and when there is warmth in there's the yellow pigment, I think. Don't quote me on this, but anyways, let's move on to the next one, emerald green and green original. Now again, emerald green came with the original palette and the pigment is PG7, sorry, and green original I have ordered from Jackson's Art as well, and it looks incredibly similar to the point where I thought it's the same. I thought it might be the same situation as with these two greens, but having researched it, it's a separate pigment that shows up on their pigment list on their website, and like I said, there is a yellow in here, so it's the same PJ7 but It also has PY35. So I hope this is helpful for you if you're thinking to order, because I ordered a bunch of colors which I then just ended up swapping or taking out. So really, again, this is a warmer tone, this is a cooler tone. Really, do you need two? Absolutely, I don't think you need. So, you know, it's good to know which one is which, so that you know what to order. So Rose and Queen Rose. Again, this one, the Rose is warmer tone, and Queen Acridon Rose, which is almost identical, is just a bit cooler, and the pigments are PR81, PR122. So I hope I have taken talked about everything. Here I've done a few more swatches. Oh yeah, about blue and bright blue. So there is, I think the blue came in the original palette, so if they're right next to each other here. So here is the blue, here is bright blue, and here is the blue here, and here is the bright blue over here. So the blue came with the original palette, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you go onto their website, the blue doesn't exist anymore. Is that right? I think so. And then we have bright blue, which I have ordered again from Jackson's Art, and I think that one is maybe a reformulated sort of version of that original blue. They are different, but quite similar. Yeah, and then the last thing to mention, let me just double check. Yeah, so the last thing to mention is Shakhnazarskaya red and red ochre. Again, double colors, like they're just duplicates really. This one is probably more brownish, this one is more orangey. Again, don't think you really need the two, they're right next to each other right here. But I kind of like them, so I kept them. Yeah, I also moved my Naples yellow from up here. Where was it? Well, it was together with the where was it? No, it wasn't. So Naples yellow was in the middle row, and I just moved it down to my replaced actually the yellow ochre with Naples yellow. So that is it, and I hope you found this useful, and see you soon.